What's
What is
happening,
this, a
Sean?
special occasion?
Good to see you, man.
I seen them heels when you walked in there
You don't
looking
want
like
to feel
Dorothy.
these heels. Paying the price.
What we got
Y'all
cooking,
looking
Sean?
good.
Thank you, baby.
Right now, I got some stuffed mushrooms for you. Bacon alert. There's bacon in there.
They
I
like
got
bacon.
spinach, cheese, and spinach espuma.
A spoon.
It's Spanish for foam.
A spoon. How you spell? Don't try.
And spoon
Oh,
Who we got dining with us tonight?
we have the incredible, the one who owned his power in spite of it all, Fred Rosser, WWE.
All right. Yes, looking forward to
Okay.
that one.
Openly gay wrestler.
Yes, indeed. Looking like you repping over there. What you
Well,
got
you
on?
know, I dressed
on
appropriately
now.
just in case he did a little
Come on
sumo, you know.
Want to be ready?
Hey,
You want
Need
to
to be
hear
wrestled
that?
down. Would you say I'm ready?
Nihongo no ikimasu
So excited.
Well, he sounds like a very masculine man. And I had a conversation the other day. Somebody was saying, man up, be more masculine. I wanted to know, is that happening? Do you
We
guys
hear
hear
that a
that
lot in the black community, don't we?
Yeah,
we do.
we definitely do.
I'm always curious when somebody says that, like, what am I doing that's evoking something in them?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe they need to man up.
Oh,
Exactly.
you
Throw
better-
it back
now,
on
now,
them.
now.
Well, I'm going to throw these on y'all, so y'all go ahead and get on there.
Extra one, you know.
Okay.
A
This
little
is
extra.
spuma.
A little extra.
I might have to reach over there and get a little bit of that on your plate.
A
Fabulous.
little
They look
spoon never hurt
delicious.
nobody.
All right. Antonio,
Yeah.
you were saying, what did you say when you said people in the black community, especially, man up?
Yeah, I guess that whole idea is, I think you have to be comfortable with who you are, and when somebody's coming at you like they're talking about man up, it always has me question, like, what is it in who I'm being that's evoking something in you? And so I just want, maybe you need to man up,
Oh, I love that.
and it's kind of provocative, but it's an opportunity for us to have a conversation, because
That's
I'm
what it's
good
all
just like I am,
Oh, I'm loving you for it. Owning your power.
Yeah, I mean, part of it even was me, deciding what to wear tonight. It was the idea of challenging those stereotypes and, and putting my hair in a top knot.
I was getting ready to say that looks so
and,
cute.
and adding a little hair hanging down and, just kind of giving it a little fun and making it interesting, but not feeling like I have to be in some rigid box of what represents my masculinity,
Whoa, Fred's gonna have a ball with you all tonight.
We think about gender in this binary, like male, female, masculine, feminine. And I have this scale that I use, particularly when I'm talking to people about gender. And so I want to do that now if you guys are open to it.
Sure.
Because I think it might help people too.
Please.
So just think about it real simply, almost like the Kinsey scale. So on this end, we got M5. So that's it stands for masculinity, not male. Masculinity, M5. And then on this end of the spectrum, we have F5. And then we go down. So it's M5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I'm talking to a group, I'll say, okay, where my M5s at? And all the dudes start barking, and everybody ain't no M5. But okay, we'll go with that. I said, where my F? And the girls start meowing. Because that's how we're socialized, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like you to think about it for a minute, and it doesn't matter whether you have a penis or a vagina, whether you're M5 or F5.
I'm not gonna tell you which one I have.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Don't show
We
us
won't talk
either.
under your clothes. So,
That's my business.
so think about it, and we can think about what we think of each other, because we talk about perception, like how I see you versus how I see myself. Okay. So maybe I'll go first, for example.
Please.
So when you look at me using that scale, what would you say?
I would say an M3.
Okay.
I would also give you an M3.
Okay.
M4.
Okay. Now I see myself as a 0.
Good for you.
Like I feel like I sit right in the middle.
Okay.
And in any given moment, if I just lean ever so slightly in one way or the other, I'll be more masculine or more feminine. And I tend to operate more at that center point. So that's for me. So how about you? Let me say what I see.
Okay.
So I would say M2, between M2 and M3. For you, I say F2.
Okay.
And for you, I'd say probably F2.
Really?
F2, yeah, more towards the masculine end of the female side of the scale.
Funny
I
you
would
should
give
say
you
that.
an M2.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Aaron just recently said he thinks that my soul is male.
Okay.
I would give She's a 0 for me.
0. Now, how do you see yourself?
It's a good question. It's something to think about.
Should we come back to you?
Please.
Okay, so what about Chris?
Somewhere like almost to the 0, but F kind of like.
Okay.
I feel the femininity, the beauty,
Yes.
it's a peace that comes from you.
I'm
You
gonna
have a
give
very peaceful
F1,
spirit.
F2,
And then-
F1. I'm gonna give you F1.
And then how do you see yourself?
M2.
M2.
M2,
Okay.
more
How
masculine.
about you, Aaron?
I see myself as probably a F2, F2.
And then how do you guys see Aaron?
F1.
I definitely see F2. I would agree.
So did we come back to you and you tell us? You're going to tell us, right?
Yeah, I think I'm more masculine.
So what was it?
I'm gonna go with you, M3.
M3?
Ooh.
I thought I saw that 5 o'clock shadow over there.
But the important, this is important because it's not the physical. When we talk about
Correct.
gender, we are talking about what we cannot
I know. I'm
see.
just kidding.
And this is why this conversation is so important.
Yes.
Because there's so many men in the black community that they don't even understand the concept of gender at all.
Absolutely.
They don't understand
Well,
that there's
we're not
someone
taught.
underneath.
And that you get to be you don't have to be on those fringes to be accepted. That's the important part, right? And if you only think of yourself, as we talking earlier about being told to man up and those things, those statements are usually in relationships to an M5, like that's the expectation, or F5, right, on the far ends of the spectrum. But when you force people to kind of look at it on a continuum, they say, oh, well, where do I see myself? And those guys that barked at the top of a presentation,
Yes.
when they've been given the freedom, usually they move somewhere along the continuum.
Wow. This
Which
is gonna
interesting.
fit
So,
in so
anyway.
with Fred. Go ahead.
Yeah, Antonio, and how relevant is it to the relationships? Because it's the idea of someone who just sees you and they don't really know you, but they just
That
make
is actually,
a
like, for me,
perception. Right.
I can't rock with an M5 because he's too limited, his box is too tight.
What do you mean when you say his box is too tight?
Not that box. Take your head out of the gutter,
I was just
Aaron.
curious.
Well, meaning the box that you're forced to live within. When we talk about toxic masculinity,
Right.
that's that M5 box. And if they get ever so slightly out of it, they're being scrutinized, criticized, humiliated.
Right.
That's what I mean by the box
Right.
is too tight. So imagine me, a 0, out with an M5, who the slightest thing that makes tips his masculinity, he's freaking out. And those kind of individuals can become violent.
I was
Right.
getting ready to say. Because it hurt.
know.
It rages inside we all just want to be free.
Absolutely.
But you know
That's
what a lot of people don't talk about? I think that the toxic masculinity that we see in the black community really stems from misogyny. When you see a man become angry that someone says, "Oh, you're that's kind of girly." When did female become an insult?
You're absolutely right. Misogyny is at the core of that.
Let me say this. I believe our guest is on his way. We're going to have a ball tonight. Listen, when we come back, let's break right here real quick with the house, and we'll be back to talk about it in the house.
Okay.
All right. I'll go through this. Did you go through this, Chris, in your household as a child?
Yeah, so my uncles, even though I played every other sport, they insisted on basketball because they love basketball. And because I wasn't good at basketball, I wasn't good enough. And so even though I ran track, I played football,
All the rest.
tennis, everything else, soccer.
And it's probably because you have some height. You're tall, and everybody thinks, oh, okay, you're tall. Is that my guess? Oh my goodness, guess here. Oh,
Mr. No Days Off is in the house, baby. How you doing?
Look at you.
Right here.
Conscious too.
Handy dandy
Welcome to the
sanitizer.
house. Welcome to the.
How you doing?
Awesome.
We hugging?
Okay, come on. A hip bump, maybe?
A hip bump.
Can we
Oh,
just
let's do it, baby.
Oh,
Oh,
Fred.
be easy with
Fred.
that.
Look at here.
Sharing is caring, baby. I brought a little gift for you guys.
Oh,
Brought a little gift, you
I
know?
like that.
Imagine getting hit in the head with that. That's 15 pounds of gold. My goodness.
Can I feel it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
How's it
Wow,
feel?
block the hate. Whoa,
Block
I
the
can't wait
hate.
to talk about
It looks
that.
heavy.
Not all superheroes wear capes, baby.
I love it. You put in work. We see
This
you.
is cool here.
Oh, yeah. Can I try this on, Fred?
You got to fight me for it.
Okay, we can do
You got to show me the money now.
We could do that.
Show me the money, man.
We could do that.
Here we go. Here we
You gotta
go.
show me the money now. Where's the money
Here,
at?
put the belt on.
Okay, now this is what wait, listen to me now. This is what I tell all the fans. Do you know how to put on a bra?
I can help with that.
I can kind of imagine. but-
Imagine, all right.
Flip it around. You
Put
put
on
it
a
on from
bra.
the front.
Oh, you put it on this way.
That's how you put a bra on.
Yeah.
I would know.
Okay. Oh, you love.
Oh, you would know. Oh, yeah, we see.
There you go. You need help snapping it in? I can snap it in for you.
Yeah.
I got it for you.
There you go. You know how to do it.
And then I just spin it around.
I don't eat
There
till
you go.
5 p.m. I fast.
Wow.
I fast for 20
Champion.
hours.
for that.
Look
Look at
at
that.
you.
I'm hungry. So
Yeah,
you
look at
having
that.
fun?
I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
All right, now.
Thank you
You
very
gotta do my
much.
pose.
Oh, you like that?
Equality,
yes.
baby.
Quality.
All day,
Quality. I love it.
Quality.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that.
And,
All right.
okay, now don't lose it now.
No.
Where are we gonna put it at?
Okay.
We
Oh,
gonna
I
have
think
some good
Sean,
food.
Sean,
We're
Sean will
gonna
take
have
it
some
for
good
us.
food.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Whoa, here comes Sean with the plates. Wait till you see this, Fred.
Oh, come on, have a
Come
seat.
on in
Fred.
and have a seat. Yes.
Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
Oh, this looks good.
Now
And
don't
I'll
lose
put
this now.
I'll put it up. Safekeeping. I got you. I'll put
I'm
it
gonna have to hit you with my finisher, the gut check. You know what the gut check is? You don't want to find out.
Go ahead and have a seat. What I
favorite.
prepared for you tonight is beef Wellington with sauteed Brussels sprouts and au jus. Enjoy.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
So this is
I
exciting.
love Brussels sprouts.
Fred,
You do?
Yes,
You love 'em?
my favorite veggie.
I wanted to ask you a question right off the bat. We were just talking about masculinity and toxic masculinity, and you would be considered hyper masculine, big buff. You're into, wrestling. What does masculinity mean to you?
I always say every day I wake up, someone in the LGBTQ community or anyone that gets bullied in the silence is counting on me, So when I was wrestling with WWE, I wasn't comfortable with myself. So I would always cut wrestling promos like this to sound more masculine and not hide that I was hiding, But now I don't have to do that anymore, I can just be myself. I can be feminine. I can be pumping iron at the gym and see these straight guys looking at me, and I can just be real sassy with them, and then their eyes get real big. I love playing with the straight guys. I'm sorry.
Listen, Fred, you have a quote, and I wrote it down. It's never be bullied into silence. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. I got chills when I read it. I got chills.
None of us are strong as all of us, so we need more representation in sports. We need more out athletes. So, I won't stop being that hero until I'm 6 feet under.
I love you for it.
When you think of sports, wrestling, football, those are some rugby, those are some of the most masculine sports. When you were coming up and when you came in touch with your identity, were you thinking, that's not for me? Or how did you navigate and make the decision to move in that direction despite your sexuality?
Well, I didn't think my story was a big deal until, of all people, the icon Cher, she reached out to me. Wow. And she said because of her hearing my story, one of her friends who's a big wrestling fan came out to his family, so she thanked me, and it was that minute I realized that my story was a big deal.
I see.
So there's more wrestlers coming out because of me, More representation, the better. I want people to see me on TV or either on my social media who identify with me and say, well, if he can do it, then so can I. My mom, I wish she was here because she's like my soundboard. She's my right-hand woman. And I'm 36. I came out to her when I was 28, but she's also gay too. She's a lesbian mother, and
Even as a child, she was.
Yeah, she came out to me when I was like 7 or 8, and I didn't come out to her again until I was 28 because back then in the 80s, the science wasn't as strong as it is today. When my mom is like always saying, "Oh, I can't wait to have grandchildren,"
Yeah.
So no one wants to let their mom down, and I just suppressed those feelings for so long. But my mom is tough as nails. Like she is like. She put the boxing gloves on me because I was a soft kid growing up. I was just soft,
Love it.
So she had to toughen me up. So she put on boxing gloves, and we're in the living room, and she's beating the shit out of me. And I had enough. I gave her like a knee to the stomach like they do in wrestling, and wham, right over the back. And it was that minute that she realized that, man, my son wants to be a WWF at the time wrestler, you know.
And you
so,
were already looking at wrestling at that point.
Yeah, I was a fan since I came out the womb.
You said your dad, right?
Yeah, my dad was a huge fan, and I never looked at the wrestlers ever in a sexual way. I always looked at it as performing, the costumes, the storylines, because we all know it's entertainment, but I've had my fair share of injuries. So, it's always been a dream come true to accomplish being a superstar, and I did it in 2009.
And you, 2009 to 17, but you worked at Dairy Queen, and tried out, almost 40 times on your own dime? What determination? Tell us about that experience.
One of my favorite quotes, without commitment, you'll never start. But most importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. And I got that from Denzel Washington. Like, the door got shut in my face so many times until I got that one yes. WWE.
What kept you going? You know,
that laser-like focus. You know, my high school yearbook, the last sentence, it was WWF, here I come. So I wasn't taking no for an answer.
Manifesting
So,
40 times out of 75 people.
Out of 75 people from all over the world, I beat them all out and I earned my contract. I had to, at the time, do a paid tryout. When I tried out, I had to pay. Now guys get invited to wrestle and earn a contract. And some people just go from the football field, the NFL, to being a WWE superstar. Me, I grinded on the independents. I worked
$1,000 to $2,000 every tryout.
Yeah, $1,000 to $2,000. Yeah, but before that, the grind was performing in arenas with no toilet and no shower, grinding it out, what a comedian might do, you know? Just traveling, doing the circuit, and I did what I had to do until I got that yes.
Determined. I looked at your expression in that moment on TMZ, and you said, I was in love. Love cuts all the rules are broken, because you just said it on TMZ, and you was like, hey, I gotta be free, baby. This is it.
You know, I said what I said to them, and out. But I wanted to be able to bring my boyfriend to red carpets, hold his hand. I wanted to be able to bring him backstage into the masculine world of WWE. And I did it, and I accomplished that. And he wasn't a big wrestling fan, but one of his favorite wrestlers during this particular attitude era in wrestling was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he got to meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's so pro-LGBTQ. And again, we need more allies, we need more representation. And he was just a stand-up guy, along with many other people in WWE, from Vince McMahon to Big Show. So many people made it a lot easier for me to walk into a WWE locker room.
So Fred, you said you were soft when you were a kid. Now, a lot of kids at home have been called soft. I was one of them, and it's always an insult. And I'm wondering, did you mean it as an insult, and what did you mean when you say you were soft?
No, absolutely not. When my mom would beat the hell out of me as a kid to toughen me up, she would always say, like, in football practice or football games, like, my uniform was the cleanest one. I didn't like to get hit, which I don't agree with. The only reason why I did football was because I wanted to, like, hit people late and then, like, start a fight, and then I would wrestle them to the ground and, get thrown out the game, because that's how much I loved wrestling. So I think I get my demeanor from my dad. When I mention my dad, I always say, the one thing about my dad is he always had a hot meal on the table for me. When my mom was out clubbing in New York City, she was clubbing it up, but the roles have reversed now. It's like my mom is my right-hand woman, my soundboard, and my dad's my dad. My dad's a different story, but I get my demeanor, like I said, from my dad. My mom's a roughneck. I'm silent but deadly. I can go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Wait a minute, Fred.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm a shy guy. That's why, like, you guys, liven me up and bring out the best in me. I'm just calm, cool, and collected. That's just my demeanor.
Mad at you, we bad.
But
Chris,
I don't take no shit, though. I don't take no shit. Don't give me no.
Oh shit! Here we go. See there.
Was it your mom or dad? Which one stand out for you,
No,
Chris?
I mean, I resonate with that, but I actually wished that I had a situation where someone was toughening me up. I always felt like the gay boys who actually had that and they could pass, if you will, or be more masculine, had it easier because they didn't get, messed with as much.
Wow.
And I felt like if you were a bit more prissy or like a sissy or prancy, that then you had it harder. And so I just always felt like it was easier for guys like you who had those family members who toughened you up. I didn't feel tough, so I didn't fight fair. So I was that hood rat that whatever I could grab, I was gonna beat your ass with it because I was little. And so the little boy had to do whatever he had to do. So that wrestling and all that, no, I wouldn't win that.
You knew
So
I may be naive, but I just feel like a lot of kids feel like violence is the ideal. That's what you need.
protection, safety.
But protection against what,
From
though?
what? Yeah.
Yeah, so the aggression may...
bullying.
That's what I'm saying. So the
Yes.
aggression may be starting from someone else, but then you return it with more aggression. So,
Protection.
okay, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
I just, I know this is idealistic.
That's a good point.
You see it as
I
I see
wish
it as
that
I gotta save my
people
ass.
would not be so aggressive towards each other. I know this sounds crazy and idealistic, but that's just what I want.
It's wonderful to be idealistic. I am too, and I think we should all be, kind to each other and all that. But you have to figure out your place. And like you said earlier, you're kind of low key, but you don't take no. I mean, that's really where you got to get to. What is that thing where you communicate to someone else? You have that cat analogy, which I think is
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
Share that.
Okay. Well, I was saying that sometimes abuse manifests itself in different ways, and sometimes I said it was a kitten. When a kitten has been abused and beaten as a kitten, by the time it grows up to become a cat, whenever a hand comes towards it, even if that hand is to pet it, they only recognize the hand as abuse. So that then if I'm coming to pet you and you hiss and scratch at me because that's what you recognize is this hand is abusive, then for me, I now respond to the hissing and the scratching. So that in response to the hissing and the scratching, then I'm now either going to pull away from you because you're hissing and scratching and I don't understand why when I'm just trying to pet you. But then if you keep hissing and scratching at me, then I'm gonna hit you. So because I now feel like I need to defend myself from the hissing and scratching. So then now, inadvertently, the behavior that cat didn't want to have happen to them, it perpetuated it because of their hissing and scratching. And then it's the moment I do hit you, you say, I knew you were gonna do that.
Uh-huh.
I expected it. And so without even realizing it was the hissing and scratching that provoked it.
But Fred, do you think the boxing gloves was abuse? Do you look back on it now?
That is a good question.
I mean, my mom's intent wasn't to hurt me. My mom's intent was to just tough me up. If you take a hit or you fall down 7 times, of course you get back up 8 times. But
I love
mean,
that.
before I lose my train of thought, I gotta say, as a kid, I always knew that I was closeted, and I had friends in high school, elementary school, like yourself, that was comfortable with themselves out, and I always respected people like you, that were comfortable with themselves. And as a kid, my mom had drag queen friends who she would bring by the house, and they weren't in character, but they were just so kind to me and all that. But when they would leave the house, I shut it off because I had other family members that might look down upon it back in the day. But when I came out publicly and was comfortable with myself, I embraced the community. I can be myself. I can have conversations with you.
It's so
You know
wonderful.
what I mean? I can have your back, and not be one of those closeted, gay guys. Oh,
Angry.
angry and stuff like
Yeah.
that. No,
Being in the
I got your
closet
back.
is
I got
fun.
everyone's back at this table. You know what I mean?
Okay, good to hear.
None of us are strong as all of us, so I'm glad I'm able to just be myself and embrace you.
Well, and with that, embrace it.
I want to know the answer to that too.
I want to know. You take
Uh-oh. There it is.
Yeah, we want to hear
There
about
it
that,
is.
clearly.
I shouldn't have said a word.
Uh-oh.
Are you done?
Okay, let's not ask that question.
Oh no, we want to know that.
Now we really want to know.
Definitely want to know that.
What do you want to
difficult?
know? Difficult.
Dating.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, well, that said it all.
So when it comes to relationships, there's layers to me, you know, and you have to get through those layers. The one thing I'll say about my relationship with Nikki, which was very serious and very long, is I took a lot of learning experiences from it, how to be patient. And I'm not talking about patient when a guy says, oh, babe, I need patience to think about this relationship. I'm talking about patience like if I'm having difficulty with an app or a program, or if I've never seen this film, explain it to me. Don't just say, oh, you never seen this film? Or you don't know how to work that. Just be patient with me. I'm not the sharpest. I always say it all the time, and one of my friends was like, why do you always say that you're not the sharpest knife in the drawer?
Likewise.
Because, I mean, I'm not afraid to look vulnerable, you know?
That's when you're strong.
Exactly. So I need help. So that's when I explain that patience is so important to me.
Why he's single? Wait a minute.
No, we're over here melting. Sure.
I'm like, okay, that's what
I'm
everybody's
speaking from the
looking
heart.
for, right?
I can come here to the house and just, you know, talk about planned stuff, but I got to be able to speak from the heart and be able to get advice from you guys, you know? I really want to get married.
You do?
In the future, but in my life, I can talk about stuff that I struggle with. And recently, I did this YouTube show with a friend of mine. He came out as the first openly gay basketball player in college. His name is Derek Gordon. And after the YouTube episode we did about relationships, I got so much in wrestling we call heat, like people disgusted about me dating outside of my race. Wow. Now, I've dated black women, white women. I've dated black men, white men. I've dated many races, but who I choose to lay my head with at night is my choice, my preference. I think everyone at the table at the house has their own preference.
Yeah.
And my longest relationship was with an Asian and Filipino and Puerto Rican.
Oh, you really have had some flavors.
You know?
Hey. Okay.
I don't discriminate. I appreciate, you know?
Oh.
When I talk to kids all over the world about bullying, I leave with one word of the day: have empathy for one another. Learn about different cultures. Learn about different ethnicities. You know what I mean? The more you learn, the more you earn. So
what's the heat about? You say you
the heat
experienced
about
from these
is that
people.
like the backlash that I got was, oh, I don't love my own race. I don't appreciate my own race. I love my race. I appreciate my race. You know, my social media is an open diary to the world. So anything I ever post always comes from the heart with the intent to inspire, motivate, and educate the youth. So it's rough for me being black and a gay man. So I've got to fight two battles. But like I said, it's a battle that, you know, strength in numbers. You know.
Do anybody else ever feel like they have pressure to date a particular race or their own race only?
And
like as
anybody, Chris?
I don't date, so I don't.
So you don't date. How about you?
We both are real messed up over here. You got issues.
No, don't say that.
Wait a minute, I don't date.
You don't date either?
But no, I date.
Oh, okay.
You do. No, Aaron said I don't
Aaron,
date.
I'm like, okay, so are apps not dating? Like
No,
they call
that
them
ain't
dating
It's called
apps.
screwing.
That's hookups. He meant it when he said that. He tricks. There's a difference.
What'd you say? You screwing?
It's screwing. That's what it
He's
is.
tricking.
Do you date outside your
I
race?
screw.
Do you?
Yes.
I screw outside my race. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. I got that heat
too
in
much.
terms. I was married to an Italian. And so if we're
Was that
together.
delicious?
Ooh. Well, it's all delicious.
PJ.
You know, I wouldn't have married him if it wasn't
wait.
delicious. But it wasn't because he was Italian. I think that what I struggle with the public or people who feel a certain way about as a black man who you're supposed to be with is there's this perception that you somehow, to your point, are not comfortable being black or you're not down with black people. And that wasn't my experience at all. And this is the distinction for me. So he was Italian. My current partner is Jewish. So everyone, all the men I dated before that was all kinds of different races, Latino, Asian, etc.
All kinds of flavors.
But the point is, I think if you're a black person dating a white person, you must be real clear about white supremacy. And my partner and I are able to have very specific conversations about race. And he's very clear that he's not superior in my eyes. And that's very, very important. So the fact that I'm with a white man has nothing to do with slavery or me not being black enough or anything. It's just who happened to be who connected with me. We talk a lot about race and homosexuality in terms of where the white gay community is versus where the black gay community is and our relationship to the black community. And what I have found in dating, and I get heat for this all the time, but white gay men, in terms of their freedom, because for me, that's what it's about.
Okay. Now.
In my dating black gay men, was very difficult because they weren't free. Who they're concerned with, knowing whether they're gay and how they move and flow through the world was holding me back because I'm not interested in any of that. So I can't be like when we're together.
You want to live your life.
I'm going to live it.
Come on now.
You know, I told you since 12. So it's not going to roll like that. And so I'm open to you, but you know, when you're dealing with dudes in Kojic and all these other different kinds of environments where they want to be
Church of God in
with
Christ,
you,
for anyone who doesn't know what that is.
You know, we're good in the bedroom,
Yeah,
but when we get out
damn.
in the street, we're bros like you were talking about. No, I can't roll with that. No, I ain't your bro. And we're not going to be pretending because we got an audience.
Well, Fred, what are some examples of the backlash that you're describing?
From the comments, it's just like, you don't like your own kind? Like, why are you dating outside of your race, you know? Have you experienced being with a black man or, and I don't lose no sleep over it. I don't, because I know who I am. I don't worry about the comments. I always say, if they don't know you personally, don't take it personal.
So if men are checking for you, like what kind of man is the right kind of man to be checking for
Well,
you?
currently right now, I'm dating, I'm dating an Asian man.
Okay.
He does graphics for video games.
Delicious
and
flavor there.
Yeah,
Okay.
delicious in my eyes, you
I
know.
know.
And he's always working at his computer. He doesn't leave the house during this whole pandemic. And
Nurturing?
Nurturing, yeah, very supportive. Not a big fan of wrestling, but respects it.
Okay.
The whole, so I'm curious about that. So the wrestling thing, right? So did he meet Darren? Did he meet Fred?
He met Fred.
He met Fred?
Yeah, again, at the table, I'm the quietest one, shy, calm, cool, and collected, but when the red light's on,
I like the calm, cool, and collected.
calm, cool, and collected, but when the
Shy.
red light's on, it's prime time for me.
Okay.
So,
So who you bringing to the bedroom? Darren, Fred, both?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
me, I, in the bedroom,
Got the belt on.
see, now I'm getting nervous now.
We love you.
For me, it's a lot of
your honesty.
foreplay. I don't like,
Jump from the
You
top
don't just
rope.
jump right in.
I
a lot
don't
of
jump
foreplay.
right in. No.
Okay, a slow summer.
I take my time. I take
Slow
my
summer.
time. Again, I'm gonna keep it PG at the table.
Okay.
That's just who I am. But I take my time, and you know, I'm a pleaser. I love to give massages.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk
because like the
about
massage, what the massaging?
Yeah, you've
she's
gotten them
also-
for years, so you know a good massage.
Well, you know me. I like working out, so it's
You
just
gotta
like,
have it. Touch is intoxicating.
yeah.
Touch is really, really, really powerful. And if you are compassionate, I know your massages are fantastic. A good masseuse has to have compassion.
There you go.
It's like me working out. You know what I mean? Like, give me a hand. Like, I'm just like,
Oh, Chris is jealous
See?
over here. I just know.
You get the belt, he get a massage.
that's all I like to
ain't
do.
got-
You, Chris, you gotta touch.
You said Asian, I put my little...
In the house. Don't give it
Don't touch my thing.
Y'all a mess.
Representing.
But like, you know, as masculine and tough as I am, I'm very like I said, I'm very.
Your soft side is so
yeah.
sweet. See, softness
I
with
can be rough
sweetness.
with you, but don't be rough with me. Yeah. Oh, don't do that.
Oh,
That's
your
how I am.
whole energy. Energy like the wind. You don't see it, but you feel
Sweet
it.
as the bull. But don't be rough with me.
You,
I ain't falling for it.
what you say? What you ain't
This
gonna fall for?
Negro wrestles. Talking about some don't be rough with me. Are you serious?
What you say?
I can see that. I can see that.
can't do it.
I hear that. I hear your inner self speaking. You know, you have your physical
Of
self.
course, Aaron would see the inner self.
What are you talking behind my back? You talking behind my back? I can't hear.
Not me.
I'll tie you up in holds. But I'll make sure you get out of them.
Okay. Is this a promise?
He has a boyfriend.
Not married yet. We in the house.
I'm teasing.
That's a good.
Why can't we have more lovers? I want to know that.
That's what I was just about to say.
2 refrigerators,
Like,
2 pair of shoes.
How
2
do you feel about
stoves.
polyamory?
Everything is okay. What about?
Anybody?
Come on.
Polyamory? Anybody?
Wait.
Somebody talk to me.
Anybody? Polyamory?
What does that mean? I don't know.
Polyamory means you enjoy or prefer to have more than one partner. Am I correct about that?
Yeah. The love of many.
Why do we
Not
feel?
monogamy.
Look, if I got 1 pair of shoes, I ain't giving away the other ones.
Yeah.
But you have
Polyamorous.
You'd be more polyamorous,
Yes.
monogamous, polyamorous.
I like one partner.
Okay, monogamy.
Damn it, I hate using the word
I know,
partner.
one man,
I
one
love
boyfriend.
that you said it.
One boyfriend, you know. I don't like that mixing stuff.
Okay, how about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to the poly
Polyamory.
situation. Yes, but I also would appreciate and respect
Monogamy. Yeah.
These
I mean,
are
I've
all
had
new
both. I've
terms
done
I'm
both.
learning.
You've
These-
done both?
these
Oh, yeah, I've
terms.
been
Right
in-
now,
well,
would you go outside the relationship to have? Can you go to in my mind? Can you go to your partner and say, I mean, your boyfriend, and me, I don't have what?
Yeah.
Can you go and say, hey, I went to a swing. I like this girl, right? Once I hear I've been to prison, y'all. Oh my
It just
God!
conjures
Every
up
woman
all
thinks
kinds
I
of
want
So you
them.
were swinging in prison.
You were
is
swinging
hell.
in prison.
All these straight women just like, I know. And I'm like, no, right? So one bad chick too, you know, Latino. Well, I'm talking about boom bam. And we was friends and took me for my birthday to a swing club down in Palm Desert. And so I had the blindfolders on and everything, and walked in,
Aaron.
and there it was, and everybody's naked. So I took it off, you know, and I played with a little. But then after that, I put my hand up, you know, but I'm listen.
Where did you put it
listen.
up?
But this
Okay,
is what I'm
just wanna
saying.
make
It was
sure.
listen, y'all. It was couples there. This is the point, and they would whisper to each other, and then the other one would go over.
What was that again?
It was couples. It was a couple, and they would whisper to each other, and one would come over talking. Next thing you know, that person would leave and go and have the sex with the other. And I sat around. I didn't participate because I'm Debbie Downer. But I said, this is how it's supposed to be. You don't want to leave. You just see something you like.
Well, I've been to play parties, and they're a
that's what
lot
they
of
call
fun. Yeah, some of them are called play parties. Yeah, and
Play party.
I'm learning.
Yeah,
I want
you
to
too.
attend.
no. I mean, I've been to the ones that have more of the range of S&M with, you know, bondage. It depends on what you're into, but I think in terms of your senses
Bondage.
being stimulated and it being the kind of free environment where you can be whatever it is that you want to
Naked.
be, is fantastic. So I
Run to
encourage,
from partner to partner.
you know, to
having
go
fun.
visit. And you don't have to participate if
Practice
you don't
it.
want.
It
I
was
mean, you
safe
can be a
sex.
You can
voyeur,
just watch, yeah.
so you can ease in at
I
your
was a
own
voyeur.
pace. So that's always good too.
I stayed in the pool. And
She
then
stayed in the pool.
And when I walked in,
You can stay in the pool.
It wasn't us. Black people got the show enough hang up. Come on now,
Well,
when it comes to that.
this is sort of leading to what I was saying earlier in terms of just being free. Like, I think when you, and that's not to say, I mean, anybody chooses to do whatever they want to do. Monogamy's great, you know, whatever it is, one-on-one, or this is what my limits are. But when you open yourself up to the possibilities of the world, you'd be surprised what you enjoy.
I was
And
thinking.
no shame in it.
I'm thinking I might be all talk because I just envisioned myself at one of these parties and it didn't feel like me. And so I was thinking, well, the important thing is maybe it's not you.
I could see you
but-
there in a sling.
But wait a minute. But it's not.
What'd you say?
You may have seen me in a sling. Depending on where you hang out.
Swing back, swing.
But
Aaron's free with.
I know. I've not been in the sling. But the
Okay,
thing
I
is to
checked.
not be judgmental of other people that
Absolutely.
want to do that. And that's where a lot of people mess up, I think.
That's because of this whole. I got to be married. I got to be with this one. 30 years later, you gonna tell me, you know? I've been with somebody 40 years, and we were young when we met, and he went to prison. And when I went to see him the very first time, and he came out, and he was like, he was drop dead gorgeous, and he came out to visiting room, and he was like, these boys, they big. And I looked at him and I kissed him. I said, baby, do what you got to do. Just come home to mama. And seriously, this has got to be a common. Look, I don't even want to make it that heavy with the private prison system in full effect. Our men coming home. I'm telling these women, you got to lay, baby, when he get home. And you just did bit off 15 years. Now, I've been to the joint. I know, right? You got to let him lay your head, or her, lay your head on my shoulder, tell me what you need. And when me and him talked about it, I said, my first boyfriend had a sex change. But when he came home from the joint, guess what I said? Boo, go do that, because that's not what I do. So we cool like that. So you can, and we've been together, he just left. He talking about 40 years. 40. He still claim me, I don't claim him. I don't claim nobody. So,
just laughing your ass off at the guy.
Did I not keep it PG?
It was PG enough.
It was a PG enough.
It was PG enough.
I told y'all, look, I hate to say it. We got to stop the conversation, y'all. Lord, this was
We just put it on pause.
Yeah, put it on pause.
Can we
Put it on pause for a second? I'll be on my better behavior when we come back. I want to talk about your nonprofit and what you're doing. What's the name of the? Okay.
Block the hate.
Block the hate.
Block the hate, baby.
That's hot. I want to know.
Whipped cream topping. Nothing else to be said. Enjoy.
All right, thank you, Sean.
Do you have a strict diet?
No. I eat kind of whatever I want, but I work out hard.
Yeah.
During this whole pandemic, a lot of jump roping, a lot of squats. I always say health is wealth. As a kid growing up, I had a speech impediment, so I would stutter a lot. I was overweight, so I didn't let those disabilities stop me from achieving my dreams. So yeah, I got to work out first thing in the morning. And
right on.
Let me just get a little taste of this.
Yes, please. That goes to the
It's
organization.
good too. Sean did a good job with
Your
this.
organization is called. Oh yeah.
Block the
Block the hate movement, baby.
And why? Why did you name that?
Well, I always say that my fight is much bigger than in the ring.
Whoa, y'all. You hear that?
It is.
Yeah.
It's outside of the ring, fighting bigotry and hatred. So the Block the Hate movement started with me, of course, being the first openly gay WWE superstar, but it's more than just an LGBTQ movement. It's a movement for anyone that gets bullied into silence. So at the end of the day, I want it to be the next middle finger. Like, you tell me I can't achieve my dreams of being a superstar. I have a speech impediment. I'm overweight. I can't achieve my dreams. Well, you know what? F you. F you. Block the hate. So.
And I noticed you don't curse. You don't curse.
Oh, I do curse. I do curse, but I try to keep it professional.
Okay.
I try to keep it PG.
That's good.
With WWE, if you curse on TV, you get fined.
Oh.
But like when you do non-televised TVs,
We don't get fined.
yeah.
Right, sure.
But like with WWE, when we do non-televised events, when there's like no cameras really, sometimes I'll, flip someone off, or in the ring, to get the people riled up, like, oh yeah. So
Time and a place for everything.
yeah.
That's
So
it.
like I said,
Save it.
I have fun in the ring. The Block the Hate movement is something that I want to be universal, There's 7 billion plus people on this planet, so there's still room for me to continue to roll up my sleeves and fight for advocacy, you know what I mean? And with this whole craziness going on, thank goodness, transgender people are protected under the law that was just passed, That was some kind of good news that we've all been dealing with, you know what I mean? Such major, I've met more, as a wrestler, I've met more transgender fans in the South, Raleigh, North Carolina, than I've ever in my career. And like in Raleigh, North Carolina, when I do these wrestling conventions where I'm meeting fans, and transgender fans come into my arms and they hug me and they're crying, that's what it's all about for me.
A lot of people, Fred.
That's what it's all about. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm a friend. And if I've met you as a fan and you're, in my arms, and then you DM me saying I'm thinking about committing suicide, well, then that's when I gotta take out my phone and like send you video messages talking you out of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said,
Antonio, you work with a population.
Well, actually, when I started out as a therapist, which I don't practice as a therapist today, but when I did, my first population of choice was transgender men. So I worked primarily with that population initially, and then eventually anybody. But it was incredible to really be able to hold space for people who, at that time, because now we're looking at more things opening up. It's still rough. We talk about how transgender people are targeted and disrespected and trans women murdered, constantly. At that time, I think trans men do have a different, when you can pass, and testosterone is powerful, so it's a little different road. I think it's more about not getting exposed when you can pass.
And also, I would imagine family rejection is still very strong.
Still huge. But you know what? Again, I think when we start thinking about freedom, I think the common thread with all of it is us wanting to be free to be ourselves, and whatever that is, and not be judged because of our race, our level of masculinity or femininity, our genitalia. None of people just want to be, right? I think this is amazing what you're doing, and how do we get involved? Like, how could we help support the effort that you're doing?
Well, I've been partnered with Headquarters Clothing that's based out of Sherman Oaks, California, and their whole message is embracing your headquarters. And embracing your headquarters and the Block the Hate message are kind of parallel to one another.
That's the T-shirt. That's the logo, right?
Yeah, the logo is the equality sign, with my forearms. Again, the next middle finger. So the next time you're driving in LA and you want to flip someone off, roll down the road, hey, block the hate.
Not while you're driving, though.
Huh?
Not while you're driving. You want your hands on the steering wheel.
No, you drive with your knee, man.
That's right. You
drive with your knee. Like, you roll down the window. Look, I was doing it manually.
Grocery store.
Manually. You hit the button and, grocery store, do what you got to do. Someone cuts you off, you throw it, F you, block the hate. And that's what it's all about.
I'm going to start doing it. Block the hate.
Yeah. So, blockthehate.com, like I say, daily, none of us are strong as all of us. So the more people that we can get behind it, the better. Sharing their story about how they've overcome some kind of hate, In my space, there's no room for hate. There's no room for bigotry, none of that stuff. So, like I said.
Has the Black Lives Movement given your platform steam because of what's happening socially?
Absolutely. I refuse to be silent. My social media is an open diary to the world, so I'm going to keep plugging away until I'm 6 feet under. So however I can show support to one another, and again, it works both ways too. I'm not Superman. I need the people, supporting me, and I need to look for advice. I need to lean on a shoulder here and there. So again, I'm not Superman.
Hey, listen, excuse me, I just want some more pie.
Okay, bye.
Go, Chris. Oh,
I know it is really good. Are there any other athletes? Because now you are an inspiration for other athletes coming up. Were there any other athletes that you look to? I mean, not that there were a lot of athletes that have come out, but now where there are a few, there are probably a lot more. And there just may be some fear or block that is preventing other athletes from kind of taking the stance that you've taken. What might be that thing you could say or do to encourage or recruit more gay athletes? Because I feel like if more people found a comfortable place, like you said, in numbers, and when you said that, that's what made me think about it. If there were more athletes who were acknowledging their sexuality, that then it becomes less of a thing. It becomes less of I'm a pioneer. I have to wear this big cape of I've got to be the super gay person in my sport. So is there a way to connect with other athletes, or was there an athlete that encouraged you to kind of be you?
Well, I mean, if I can stay in my own lane and talk about wrestling, there's been people in wrestling that were gay and came out after their career. I was the first openly gay wrestler to come out while still signed. So this one trailblazer in wrestling, his name was Pat Patterson. He was the first Intercontinental Championship winner in WWE back in the 70s. He was Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE's right-hand man. So he was gay himself, but he came out later in his career. Me, I came out while still signed, and then since then, there's been numerous wrestlers coming out because of me, So, Yeah, I say every time my feet touch the ground, every morning someone's counting on me. So I'm not the first and I'm not the last, but more representation, the better. We need more out athletes talking up and talking out. So important. So important.
I want to say one thing. You got to come back to the house. You know, we got to get ready to go.
Anytime.
It seems like every time, you know, we're going there. It's been a pleasure.
This has been
you.
$1 million experience, like my catchphrase in wrestling. This whole experience has been worth millions of dollars. Millions. That's how we should do it in wrestling, baby. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Hey. That's how we did it. That's how we did it. But thank you. Thank you for having me.
Come on back to the house whenever you want.
With millions of dollars.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Because once you come to the house, you're always a part of the family.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
we
Thank
mean
you, guys.
that.
Awesome.